Hello there, friends and enemies. Today's video is a video I didn't want to make, but I feel like it's something that's important to talk about. If you don't know, Graham Barrett is a comedian on TikTok and YouTube, and he does a short series where he opens up fake cards called Divorced Dads. Naturally, me being me, when he announced that he was making a real Divorced Dads game, I hopped on the opportunity immediately. I didn't do any due diligence at all. Shortly after buying the game, I found out that they do utilize generative AI tools for the art of the cards, and I was a little bummed out. Unfortunately for me, there is no return policy. All sales are final on Divorced Dads, so I kind of just have to sit here and be happy about it. Now, I have a little more positive things to say about Divorced Dads closer to the end of this video, so don't think that this is hating on that. But I wanted to use this to talk about something that I have noticed, which is the rise of AI art integrated into card games. We saw it first back in January of 2024 when Wizards of the Coast released an advertisement for a new Magic set that utilized AI art. They were rightfully told that it was AI art and denied it. And then, upon a couple days of investigation, they finally conceded that it was AI art and took down the ad and said that they would do a better job of vetting this type of thing from happening from here on out. I don't believe Wizards of the Coast, specifically because they have a bad track record of not really, how should I put this? They have a bad track record of not properly doing due diligence to ensure that their art is 100% good from their artists. We've already seen this a couple times with plagiarism, where certain artists of the Magic team have plagiarized fan artists, and it has gone unnoticed until the fans specifically pointed it out. I feel like it's going to keep happening with AI art until eventually a card slips through and we just start getting AI art Magic cards. Moving on from that, about the same week that I bought Divorced Dads, I learned about a card game called Champions of the Other World. I believe that's what it's called. It is a digital card game where the creator of the game announced that he does in fact pay a large sum to an AI artist to generate AI images because, as he puts it, he simply believes that the AI generated images are way better than anything that any artist on Earth apparently could create. I have to correct myself here. Specifically, he states that it would take a lot more time and money to pay a team of traditional artists, which is not the same argument, but it is still kind of bad. Moving on. Despite the fact that AI art does take from art that is already out there, because of the nature of how AI generation works, AI cannot create new art. It has to repurpose art that it finds from internet searching and kind of take elements of those art and mishmash them into a new piece of art. New, of course, being in quotations. And this really bothered me because a big reason that artists before generative AI art was a thing like it is now, a lot of artists weren't getting paid. Just for no reason. A lot of artists that would pump out really, really incredibly, insanely good art, a lot of artists that these generative AI systems pull art styles from, were not getting paid simply because people didn't want to pay them. Because they thought that skills of an artist were just not important. Lastly speaking, there is one more card game that I've been getting advertised through Facebook for months now, and that is Ward, the card game. Ward advertises itself as being like a card game inspired by comic book style. The unfortunate thing is there are only 2 artists for Ward, one of which uses exclusively generative AI art. I don't believe the other one uses AI. He posts progress sketches of the art that he makes. I do believe that he draws the art on his cards. However, the other artist, whose name I believe is Mark Evans, uses strictly generative AI. There is a big leap in quality between these two artists, where Mark Evans' generative AI art doesn't look great. It just kind of looks messy. It looks unfinished sometimes. It really doesn't make sense a lot of the time. And then you look at the other artist, his art is stunning, it's fantastic. It really, you know, pulls into the style that they obviously wanted for this game. I'm not sure if the new artist is exclusively taking over for the art from now on until they can find more artists, or if these two artists are doing the art at the same time. But if it is the case that only the first set was done with generative AI and the next set is going to be done with regular art, I feel like that's not necessarily indicative that the card game is lazy, but it gives me some pause. An issue that I have with AI-generated art being utilized in card games is that if you are willing to skimp on something as simple as the art of your card, how much else are you skimping on? How good is your card game? How tight are the mechanics? Is your card game even play-tested, or did you just laze on that too? And of course, generative AI art is not necessarily indicative of these things, but it feels that way. It gives me those worries. Back when I made my Metazoo video, I didn't talk a lot about Metazoo. I specifically pointed out that they use NFTs, and then I do a quick cut to what I thought at the time was something kind of funny. However, my issue with Metazoo is because part of the big process of Metazoo's production revolved around NFTs, it felt to me like Metazoo wasn't a genuine card game. It was kind of just a scam for a person that was an NFT guy to make more money and promote his NFTs. And in a way, it kind of feels justified. I've seen people be dissatisfied in the game of Metazoo, and now the game doesn't even exist anymore. I had people argue with me that Metazoo's use of NFTs helped players get actual cards in their hand, and when I asked why, I couldn't really get a real explanation for it. And I guess that is my issue with AI-generated art in card games now, is it feels like it's going to be used to just create scams, just for people who think that creating card games is going to be easy money, and so they don't put any thought into actually making a game. They just want to make a product that they can sell that they know people will buy. Another part of this is that if this becomes a mainstream thing, bigger companies might start just replacing their artists with generative AI, and if that is the case, we're going to have so many talented people that just don't get to do the thing that they love. The other issue that I have with this is that we are going to end up not only with a lack of genuine art, but we're going to start seeing and of course this is sort of a doom mentality, so don't take this as, you know, foresight. But if we end up in the bad timeline where artists just stop creating art as a whole because there's no point, we're just going to start having AI copying each other all the time, constantly. Ignoring that last point because it's not really on par with what I want to talk about, let's return to divorced dads. Upon scouring their website, they do state that from here on out they would like to work with real artists and move away from generative AI art. And I love that, of course. They state in their art section that they do use Photoshop alongside generative AI, and I kind of would enjoy it more if they just use Photoshop for their cards, pictures, and just took out generative AI in general. But I feel like making the statement that you want to move towards real artists showcases that Graham and his team really do have a care for this game that they've just created for a joke. They really do want to make something that people can enjoy and, you know, have fun with. It would have felt better if they had just gotten real artists from the jump, but I do understand when you're just a small-time creator trying to create something, it can be a little intimidating sometimes and you want to go the easy route. However, sometimes that easy route can lead to some not great decisions. But like I said, this might not be the case for everyone that uses generated AI in their card games. And so it's kind of a scary sight to see as a person that's very passionate about card games, and I'm going to have to start doing way more due diligence in the future for every card game, because now I don't know if a card game is actually you know, being cared for and worked on, or if they're just going a way that's easy just to make a quick buck. Anyway, that's really all I wanted to say. It's not that I guess I'm angry, it's more so that I'm just disheartened. Seeing AI art crop up and get as popular as it has been getting really sucks to see, especially when you're someone who wants to create art and create things for the future. Anyway, that is all I have for today. I hope you found something to enjoy about this video, and thank you very much for watching. I apologize for the somber tone of this week's video. I just really wanted to put it out there. Until next time, as always, drink your water.